So I'm going to read few questions. So you guys have to give me time out, and we will be doing in bits and pieces. Attest not if I would be answering, you will all be put to sleep. Therefore, pay attention. You may not have written this question, but some of your friend has written this question. Every question is valid. Let me start with the first one. And you know what? If some of you want to answer any questions, raise your hands. We will pass the mic. It's not a monologue, it's a dialogue. All of you have to come forward to speak. I have noticed some of you are very, very shy. You would not want to open your mouth. But trust me, I was one of you. If somebody enters inside the house, right? I'll be going and hiding behind my mummy. If my mummy says, no, don't hide behind me, I will be finding a pot. I'll be finding a table or something like that. Now I'm able to stand, I'm able to do everything for the glory of the Lord. Okay? I know exactly which of you are shy, but then I know God is definitely earmarked you. Mark my words. A day is coming where He will definitely take you to the ends of the earth. Okay. First question. Why did God create us? For what purpose? First of all, I am not God, I cannot answer this question. But I can refer the beautiful Bible which this great God has written and what He has told. One of you must have the Bible in the mind. Ephesians 5:17. I want you to see all the explanations for the questions will have to be given from the Bible. If some of you are feeling sleepy, raise your hands. Therefore, we can do other activity and continue with the questions. Understood? All questions are important. Don't you have this question that why am I created? Why am I living? What am I here to do? Correct? All of us have this question. Ephesians 5:17.
Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is.
How to understand what's the Lord's will is? There is a question in this statement itself. How do you understand what is God's will? You go talk to God and you come back home. But nobody waits to hear what God has got for us. Correct? All of you get inside prayer room, prayer time and all that, right? We end up giving this shopping list. God, this is blah 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 blah. Okay, take care of it. He's not running a grocery shop. That you give him some groceries, 5 kg rice and 2 kg sugar and not get a delivery man. He's not a courier boy, right? But God doesn't get angry. You will have to wait in the Lord and you will have to ask Him, God, this is what I think about myself. But what are you thinking about me? Have you ever asked this question? Try asking. If you don't ask, you will never get an answer. I told you just before lunch, you may have certain thoughts in your mind. You want to become engineer, doctor, soldier, pilot and all that. But then, you really need to go and check with God because He is your creator. And trust me, He created you and me for a purpose. In my life, not a purpose, multiple purposes. My wife is the witness, my daughter is the witness. There are multiple purposes that God has fulfilled in my life, and I'm very sure all the volunteers sitting here, they will have a similar testimony. Alright? You want to know why God created you, go and ask Him as the answer, but I am giving you the reference from the Bible. Ephesians 5:17. Why you should ask Him? Because divine will and plan. What is the definition of divine will and plan? One of you must answer, else I'm not moving it. What is the definition of divine will and plan? Anyone? Some of you are young children, you do not know what I am talking, but as you grow up in your life, you will end up only seeing problems as Christians. I will explain you why. You should never get discouraged. You should never get discouraged.
Okay, James chapter 1, verse 2, 3, 4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds.
Let's stop there. Whenever you face trials, you know what is trials? Trials means problems. Beloved, listen to me, all of you. Only if you get a problem, you will be learning something out of that problem. That is why Christian life is the best life. Because why? You will have full of learnings. You will have full of experiences. What a boring life it is to sail in the pond. And next day morning you will see sail. You even know which crab is living in which corner, which fish is living in which corner. Is it interesting life? No. Get into the current of ocean, and then you will become a rough guy will produce a successful sailor. Correct? A pond which is dead will produce a dead sailor. If you take the same sailor and put him on the ocean, he will be dead in less than a minute because he doesn't know how to handle. That's why many people don't have interest to live their lives on earth. Why? Because they have been trained to live their life in bond. And Jesus never trained his disciples like that. He sent them 2 by 2 to various cities. He said, I will not accompany you. 70 people he sent now. He never accompanied them. These guys all went with a lot of fear and all that, but Holy Spirit gave them the power to overcome. Through which all they came back with such a joy. Oh Jesus, we know the Satan ran away. Oh Jesus, the sickness is possible. This full of experiences. But before that, they lived a life in a pond. Such a boring life. I have been there, both the places. I have lived a pond life, lake. I have lived a life in ocean, but I prefer this. But it's not easy to sail in the ocean. Very, very tough. Okay, now read verses 3 and 4. What do you get out of these problems? What is the end result?
Because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you.
Actually, I want you to read from NKJV version. It's okay. NKJV version tells this. Out of all these troubles, you will become perfect. James chapter 1 verses 2, 3, 4 read. You will become perfect. That's why you should ask God, take me through problems that I will become perfect like you. You will be overcome. Okay? So, first of all, Christian life doesn't promise you a life without problems. If you have heard somewhere from someone, it's a lie of the devil. Do not accept it. Alright? There are a lot of preachers these days, fancy preachers. You come to Jesus, you will become a millionaire, trillionaire houses, and you give half of this to the church and all that they promise and get people. Don't believe. I'm not saying you won't become a millionaire if you are in Christ. Of course, God knows how to add the riches of the world, but He will first add the spiritual riches, the fruit of the Spirit, the gift of the Holy Spirit. 1 Corinthians 12, 1 to 11, Galatians 5, 21 to 23. You can read it later. Why do we get angry? Anybody want to answer? Is there anyone in this room that doesn't get angry? Did Jesus get angry?
Yes.
Yeah. Where did he get angry? In the temple. Okay. There is one more chapter. Mark chapter 3 verse number 1. Sit and read. Who is saying?
Mark chapter 3 verse 1. And he entered the synagogue again, and a man was there who had a withered hand.
Withered hand, and he turned angrily and healed him. Just reboot it. Which one of you is saying getting angry is a sin? Getting angry is a sin, and why did Jesus get angry? Is a sin or not? All of you listen to me. Forget the speaker. All of you listen to me. Getting angry for a good cause is not a sin. Getting angry for a wrong cause is a sin. Now, what is this good cause and wrong cause? There is a lot of corruption happening in the world. There are a lot of people doing a lot of dirty things in the world. You would not get angry? You should get angry. That's called as positive anger. But how do you exercise that anger? You cannot take a sword or a rifle gun to you cannot shoot people, shed blood. You cannot slap people on the face. You cannot hurt their feelings through the words of your mouth. That is negative anger. But positive anger is take it to the Lord in prayer. You should be angry with the things that are happening in the world, but take it to the Lord in prayer. Jesus was angry, but then he exercised that anger in a very, very positive way. He healed that man on a Sabbath. Why? Because he is saying, hey, I am the Sabbath man. Jesus is the Sabbath. To remember me is why that day was kept as a rest day. I am here right in front of you and you are ignoring me and you are saying that why are you healing that man? I will do that. Jesus was angry for all positive reasons. So getting angry is not a sin. However, exercising anger in devil's method, in a devil's way, is not right. Genesis chapter 4, you all know what Cain did to Abel. What did he do? He hugged his brother and gave him a holy kiss. No. He killed his brother. You know what? When he killed, God warned him. All of you listen to me. If somebody is sleepy, raise both your hands, I will stop. But listen to me. He said, God called him and said, hey, you are angry, you are about to sin. Sin is waiting at your door, which means what? You are going to be the first murderer on earth. What a title now. The first man murderer, I'm the first murderer on the earth. I'm the first court-mentalist PhD who was able to kill a human being on earth. Come on, everyone clap your. You look at me and you will run away from me because why? I may murder you. I'm a murderer. That's the title he got. And God warned him. Negatively, he came out with this exposition. So getting angry, see, why did Bible give a commandment, do not get angry? Tell me. Because God knows we will all get angry. That's the way how the human brain will work, how the human emotions will work. Anger is one of the beautiful emotions that should be exposed. Only then you know you are upset with me. Only then I will get to know, right, that you are disappointed with me. You did something against me. So we have to talk and we have to resolve that problem in a positive manner. Getting angry is not a sin. But how are you exposing your anger? That matters. That's why I gave you a couple of scriptures from the Bible. Matthew chapter 5 verses 22-23. Read later. It says, the moment you get that anger in your heart, you are already called a murderer. Which means you get negative anger in your heart. You are a murderer. So boys, listen to me. I think you all get angry. You all get. The other day I was walking by a school and there were two guys fighting. I think they watched a lot of movies. They were holding their fist. This guy gives one punch on his face and that guy is ready waiting. Now you punch on my face. Then he is punching on his face. Where do you think they learned all these techniques? Both of them are bleeding. One auto driver came to stop him and these both guys punched him one shot and the driver ran away. Nobody is ready to stop. That is negative anger. Hurting somebody's feelings, making them shed blood. That's negative anger. But getting angry is not a sin, go to God. All of you clear with this? So whenever you think, why am I getting angry? I'm a sinner, I will go to hell. Don't condemn yourself. But go to God and ask Him to deal with your anger. And He is going to help you. Okay? With it, okay. Why God takes loved ones from our life? And again, that person has written why? Few question marks. Why? That's a destination for us. After Genesis chapter 3, the destination is what? From mud you came, mud you shall return. How many of you know Tamil? Can you lift your hands? There is a beautiful Catholic song. It says something like this. Have you heard this song? That you will return back. Something like that. What song is that? That was written with the meaning. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse number 7 says, the spirit will return to God, the body will return to mud. Okay, this is the destination for every human being. But the question is, why my loved ones are being taken away? Whether he is loved one or is your enemy, everybody has to go to the ground and you all have to go to the funeral ceremony. Can anybody skip the funeral ceremony? I am living today, but I will be dead in a few years. I don't know. When is my last day on earth? So that's a natural phenomenon. First of all, don't get very emotional. Everybody will have to lose their loved ones. You know, COVID came, right? Nobody knew that day morning they will be dead and gone. My own uncle, he was admitted in the hospital on Wednesday. Friday evening he was dead. Saturday morning, burial was conducted only with 4 people. Nobody was allowed to go for burial. My heart broke. I went to God and I was very angry with Him. Why did you take him away? Why did you not even give him a decent burial? This and that and all that. God said, calm down, man. Does it really matter if 4 people bury or 40 people bury? He is buried. His time has come. COVID is just a reason. Heart attack is just a reason. Any sickness is just a reason. Everyone will have to leave this world somehow or other. But I have one more answer for this question. Why my loved ones? That is very simple. Because if you love somebody else more than you love God, He is going to take them away for sure. I'm not saying death is the warranty. I'm not saying death is the only method through which He will separate you from that person. It could be your own parents, your own wife, your own child, your own whomever it may be. Good example. Abraham, Isaac. How many of you remember that story? All of you remember that story, right? Abraham and Isaac. You know how he called Abraham, come, take your loved son. Then he said, Abraham, come again. Take your beloved son. That means what? He's almost kindling his anger. He loved his son so much. Because why? He was born after 100 years. 100 years of life on earth, he begets his son. Take him and sacrifice. And you know what? The sacrifice did not happen the very next day. The sacrifice happened after 72 hours. I'm done. The sacrifice happened after 72 hours, which means his emotion was put to test for 72 hours, whether he is standing by God's side or not. Whether he loves God more than Isaac or not. On the midway, he could think, right? I need Isaac more than God. I don't want God. I love my son more than God. God, I'm done with you. I want my son. But Abraham never did that. He went ahead. He really took the knife. And he was, don't think it's a drama. How you see in some stages they perform. Really, he took the knife. He was about to, stab his son and kill him into pieces. An angel came running. Abraham, stop it, man. Stop it, mad fellow, stop it. It was only a drama. Really. So much he loved God. Is your love so much for God? If it is not, be ready to be separated from your loved ones. Prominent place. First place is with God and Him alone. Remember this. Some of you have written love letters. They are the love letter. Because God will there anyway. Your love must be for Him. Right? And there are ages to do certain things. I know many of you are laughing. Looks like all of you have a lot of experiences. But leave all that aside. But my point is, focus on God. Do not replace God with someone, that person will be taken away from your life. Two answers. Death is definitely the destination for everyone. That is clear, right? Secondly, you replace God with someone else, God knows how to replace that person with Himself. Therefore, He will separate. Get out. Clear? I think that's the only time I have. Krishna, time is over. So far, I'm done with only 4 questions. Am I making sense, guys? Or putting you to sleep? Making sense? Making sense? Okay. So I will answer this one more way for us. Don't you think so? These are all very reasonable questions.